Start recording. All right, but how was your week, Pete?
Oh, really well. I fortunately, like for my kind of my long setups, was mostly looking in basic materials and just had some nice moves on X. Did not get back into gold and silver, but was really interested in how well the flow held up on those. And then the charts got stressed a little bit, but kind of held together. Main main deals for me again were shorting Tesla and MSTR coin a bit too. Just getting really pretty good at refining some of those short entries. You kind of wait for it to spike a bit and hit a level. Worst thing you can do is chase. So yeah, I was happy with that. Really looking back on my skepticism on that JPOW pump a few weeks ago, that definitely played out. That didn't hold up at all. So I'm not really like a macro guy, but for me, it sort of defines my caution and risk a bit. Um, so yeah, so I was happy to see that thesis play out too.
All right. Before I rebuttal to that, I gotta ask, because you've been a bear lately. You take a big L and now
Yeah,
you're a bear. Did you turn it? Did you get
no, 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 no.
a?
So it actually it started for me. There's only a couple stocks that I'll short. Like I hate to short Apple, although I did the other day. But it was when Coin lost the last of my lines on it at like 47, and then I had one at 42 that was a little less conviction. That and the Tesla breakdown, right? Like
Yeah.
that kind of got me in sort of a bearish mode, and that's just been sort of easier. But I still in oil I look for upside. In basic materials I'm almost always looking for upside. So no, I didn't take a big L. I have in the past, not anytime recently, but really it was just those breakdowns. I'm like, if it can't hold up at these lines, we're going to go down for a while, and that's where the flow took me to.
Yeah, no, I know. I figured. I just had to say something because some people, that's a thing. They'll take that L, they'll switch their style, and then they'll just
Yeah,
chase
yeah,
it down the hill, right? They'll just chase that
right,
down the
right.
hill.
Yeah,
And
no, but that's why I always say though, like chasing puts is absolutely the worst thing you can do.
oh yeah,
It's actually worse than chasing calls, because I think with upside momentum, um, I, to put it, I don't know how to put this. Like stocks want to go up,
yeah.
right? Like it's
People
sort of
people want the stocks. The overall,
people want the
yeah,
stocks to go up,
yeah.
and that that can push them or save your ass on an entry, a little bit. But when you're chasing the downside, it can rip back on you really quickly, even if your overall bearish thesis is
Is
right.
correct. Yeah, yeah.
So that's the big caution there.
Well, I do like that you're on crypto and Tesla downside. Because if I talk about downside, my bull ass, those are the two. I've been pretty
Yeah,
bearish on crypto, and we all know how I feel about Tesla right now. So that's good. Um, good to see that you're there at least, instead of just everywhere. I like it. I like it.
yeah,
For me, I had a real rough start to the beginning of the week. Um, it's just been like the one step forward, two steps back in that regard. And then I get occasionally just get a decent play that works out. Did decent on SQQ. I kind of took the money a little too early, because I think that went 40 to 50, um,
yeah.
and I only got the 10% on that guy. And then the big one for me was tall. Um, finally paid out, but some of these stocks in an uptrend reminded me kind of nine. Nine kind of kept me in playing tall. Like these things continue to go, especially if the volume stays in. But China Friday, I love those in December. China Rally still a thing. So I'm doing okay, but overall, it's definitely like you take a couple punches and you punch back, and that's just where it's been almost probably last week of November for me. So We're surviving though.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And natural gas too. That we had a good entry on Boyle. I think that might give some back now, but yeah, that one stuck out as well.
Those for me are tough to play because the move is always after hours, and it's like 5 to 10% swing in the natural gas price, and the
Yeah,
move happens quick, and then it's hard to see if it's going to continue. Um, so scaling into the
I actually, yeah, I only do monthly options on them
yeah, that makes
for that
sense.
reason. It just gives you a little bit more room. Not really maxing the profit out as much as a lotto would, but again, those can go the other way on you really fast. And there's plenty of times where natural gas will be up 2-3%, and then by the time we open, it's just gone.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
cold starts running. So yeah,
yeah. No, I thought Boyle would be in the 60s by now, and they're kind of both fair market value right now, in my opinion, which kind of throws me off, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
I would rather have cold flirting with 10 and Boyle flirting with 60. It just works better for the way I like to trade. Um, Spy last week. Let's hop onto that guy.
Yeah,
I didn't have that spike, but that 410 spike that I think we opened was that Tuesday. Um,
right. Yeah.
it went a little higher than I had. You were 405, so you definitely had a little bit more of that. The downside, though, I had a little more there at 375. You had 387. Um, kind of in the middle, but I think we're gonna. I think I just needed another day. I don't know how you feel about that this week, but I feel like we're gonna have a little bit more, little more tug down, especially starting Monday.
There's some massive pressure. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So like Fridays are tricky, but you can sometimes see the flow that like yeah, I think this might carry over. So yeah, there's some big names that look a little ugly to start the week.
Yeah, and that should keep Spy going
Yeah,
down, and
yeah,
we'll like
yeah,
we do, we'll find things around it.
yeah.
um, Interesting. I'll start this week. I'm gonna stick with my line here. I think, man, do I want to do that? What's this guy? Let's do this. I'm just gonna use this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna go see 372 this week on my downside. Like I said, I do think we open with a little bit more downside. That's $11. That's a pretty big downside though. Hopefully we get the Tuesday test that way. And then on the upside, I really think 400 um, would be your top, but I don't think we're going to get there because we don't have enough hours in the week and it's Christmas. So I'm going to go 395 um, on the top end. Just just
Nice.
just
Yeah.
Christmas week, and I don't really see us getting much gas, but I think people will start trickling back in um, the last week of the year, like always. So
Yeah. So I agree. I don't think we see 400 again this year. Saying it that way sounds dramatic, but it's just 1 week.
yeah.
But yeah, so I had actually at 396
Okay.
as my top end, and I'm not trying to do the Price is Right
You
thing on you,
press, let's say
but
Bob Barker.
yeah. Hey, do you know about the JPM collar? Have you heard about this?
No. You talking about like the
So,
credit default credit swap stuff, or
well, okay, so JPM, this trade, it was a massive trade that they
okay.
entered into in September, where they're short 38, 35 calls for December 30th, and look at like we're right there, and they're long on 3390 puts, which were under that, and then they're short on 2860 puts, which means like they're not, it's not going to dip below that. So they're up big on this trade, but it's really interesting that we're basically right there at where they were short the calls, and that it'll do like it's a bearish trade. So like
what's
we could go down further from here.
what's the best number for them?
So the best number for them at this point would be like for these 33.90 puts to sort of keep going a bit. So probably like, well, for I'll just do it in SPY numbers. Like 370
Okay.
would be a good spot for them because
Okay.
they don't want to go too low for those short puts. But yeah.
Interesting. What's your downside number?
Okay, so I my downside number 373.
You totally Bob Barkered me.
Yeah,
We're basically so me and P agree this week.
yeah, yeah.
um, and if it finishes below us, JBP Morgan was right. That's who that is, right? JP Morgan.
Yep.
All right.
In fact, I'm gonna. There's a little. People can watch this later, but there's a little post I'm gonna
Nice.
do on that.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. It's interesting. How much? How big was the trade? Do you know, like off the top of your head, like millions, billions, percentage?
Um. Yeah, like tens of millions, I think.
Okay, okay.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a pretty large one trade. It's pretty big.
Yeah, yeah,
They didn't have any other dates. It's all around here. This is like when they the landing spot.
yeah, yeah. It's all around the 30th now. Here I'll do this one too.
You put
This chart I'm posting has a really nice
you
outline.
you and main chat.
Yeah, main chat.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll throw it up here real quick.
So yeah, there's your numbers.
Interesting. Final price. And they entered this in September. You said.
Yeah, yeah,
Answer. That's awesome. That's crazy because that was like the August high. I know we say September, but those charts were at the August high then.
oh, I know. Yeah, and it's just been and this that level that we're sitting at right now has been a key spot a few times. So yeah. So anyway, so this adds to the idea, along with the flow I see on Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, that that we see some more downside, but not like a full on market collapse or something.
Nice, nice, nice. You like talking it? You got crypto news this week? I mean,
So basically, like a lot of selling on Friday, and then today's been somewhat quiet. I don't anticipate anything really good happening though um, for crypto. A lot more stuff with Binance going down. I think you'll probably see that BNB coin under 220 pretty soon, and there's going to be, I don't know what it is, but there's going to be some number that just drops it like 30% in a blink, and you'll start to see some liquidation. So yes, crypto looks bad right now, in my opinion.
man, I was a little early on that. um,
Yeah,
it's back to that. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I don't try to act like I know everything, but I just try to keep things simple and have a basic understanding and understand that people are, I guess, greedy. Most people are out for themselves. So these guys have basically just found a way, in my opinion, to have a bank that's not regulated, and
yeah,
they turned that basically into a hedge fund, and they're hedging money people are giving them against the current assets of the world. And what asset in the world right now isn't down a significant percent? Um, and most investors, I mean, even if you go like Warren Buffett, you just keep buying, right? But that's Buffett's thing. You
yeah,
just keep buying. And if you subscribe to that theory, um, in anything right now, you're probably down. So when these guys, and I think that's what we're seeing with Binance right now, it's going to be any pressure they have when people are like, I just want to get my money out of the system, because the assets aren't worth the risk of losing my money, because that kind of is what's on the table. that pressure creates situations for them, and that's what I think we're seeing with Binance right now.
Right, and the other thing Buffett says is I mean, it's always leverage that gets you in trouble,
Yeah,
and that's going to be the issue with all these exchanges, that when their leverage is tied up in their own coin,
yeah. Well,
and
just look at it from like a personal thing. Like, I might be worth $1 million, right? But I can't go get you like 100K in cash tomorrow. That's hard
yeah,
to do. That's hard to do. and
right,
Binance might be worth 8, 10, 15, 16 billion dollars, but going and getting $2 billion tomorrow is really hard to
yeah,
do. It doesn't matter what you're worth. It matters in a banking standard. You have to have assets on hand. And I don't know if you've ever went to like your bank, but if you try to go get like 10, 20K out of your bank, they usually tell you to wait a few days. It's just how the system works.
yeah, right. No, and the crypto, the bank runs are actually very similar to Great Depression America,
Yes,
and
yes.
where like they can't do it, and when they hit a certain point of the withdrawal pressure, it'll just take them out. So yeah, I mean, Binance is one, the some of the smaller ones that are having trouble really, haven't really been knocking crypto down as much, but yeah, so it just seems like we're kind of gearing up for that next leg down. The movement of coin to now breaking down to 35, that really kind of signals that too. You'll see coin in the 20s, I think. At that point, it's pretty good spot to start thinking about the other side. But yeah, not there yet.
I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm glad none of us have $1 million position at 47 or better.
Yeah, right.
That didn't take long at all. That did not take long at all to blow. I mean, as soon as people get, whether it's true or not, I'm gonna throw that part out there. Whether it's true or not, when people start getting over overzealous and really braggadocious, it usually just bites them in the ass. Because that's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
more about. I'm trying to brag than I'm trying to be logical in
The,
trade.
yeah, and the bragging, while significantly down, um, they'd rather not be in that position, but they're still kind of like know what you hold kind of rhetoric. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, but I still am 60-40. That was just a. I'm just gonna say it out loud. I don't really have it position.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's take like 2 minutes, 2 minutes only.
Okay.
On a scale on a percentage scale, how much of Atlas did you have right?
All right. Let me see.
You want me to start? Want me to start?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
say 85. I didn't know they were flipping like they were flipping, and I didn't think they had that much weight, to be honest with you. Um, but that's the part I missed. The rest of it, I pretty much, I've known for years. It was obvious what they were doing, but I didn't know they were like to the point of they were literally making the market. Um, so I'm gonna go 85% on my end.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna say like 65. Just for the reasons that you said, and also for left about particularly like their communication with CEOs, and
Yeah,
on some of these small caps, and just some of the coordination that was happening there, as well. So yeah, it was it's pretty shocking. I mean, not that they. Well, actually, yeah, it was shocking to me that the SEC even went this hard after him. I just always kind of thought like they'd get away with it. So that was something.
no, I think the more it comes out, I think the companies that were named in the reports are because of what you're talking about. There's CEOs involved, and I think that's really what made the case go forward. Like it wasn't a big deal
Yeah,
until
yeah,
it was the companies also coming along and interacting with those guys in general.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that like there's someone in an SEC office looking at
No.
a tweet like, "Hey, suck my nuts, SEC," and they're like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna get you now. And it's not how. I don't think that's how. But the HT and like some of those just really
Yeah.
looking back on it, just really crazy.
Yeah. Well, the criminal case has been going on for 14, 15 months. So it's I think when they were
Yeah.
bragging
Yeah.
about the SEC is because they got some paperwork, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that's when that started coming out. But you were last one, and then
Yeah.
we'll get off of this because I said 2 minutes. You were
Yeah.
shocked. You were shocked. You weren't like about fucking time. You were more on the shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked that it went further than a big fine. Like that's kind of what I that a criminal side of it. Like I don't know. I just didn't see it going there. So
Yeah, I agree the criminal
yeah.
side, but I was waiting for them to get just you can't trade anymore. It was just so egregious, so egregious.
Yeah, it was and the
Oh.
fact that the whole time they're just like we're all about education. Just come on.
No, I brought that up in a couple of the things I was doing. Like the spaces that like their education was like a stock that goes to 375 is going to make it to $5. A stock that runs 90% will make it to 120%. I mean, that's the shit they
Yeah.
pushed. That's not. I mean, what the fuck
Right,
is
right.
that? What is that? That's not a thing.
Yeah, no, it's the on the share side, when you can lose 30, 40, 50% as fast as some of those went down. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
On options, yes, that happens all the time, but on the share side to get caught up in that and to literally have so many people buy right at the top, just yeah, and especially as the whole market was going up at that time. So for people to be suckered in and lose money on those, it was just sad.
There's a few people or a few posts from mainly Tom about oh, sorry guys, it failed at five. Only 1.5 million shares sold above five. I read that as like you just sold 1.5 million shares above five, bragging about it,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
trying to play the victim. But no, I'm
Oh, the last thing on this that was really funny to me, and this actually it sort of reminds me of kind of like organized crime in a bit, where the you have the top guys. You saw how much food chain was making, and the guys in this who were kind of their underlings had kind of like laughable results in some
yeah,
ways, where they came out with 10 grand or whatever, but the amount of money that they put in, like they didn't come close to catching the full move. So it's
no,
like they were like next to no, go pump this, and they only got a little tiny piece of the pie,
yeah.
where the big dogs are the ones who really cashed in on it. So
I don't
that
think
was
you get
interesting.
more pyramid scheme than that. I really don't.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
two people tell two people, those two people tell two more people. I don't think, I really don't think you do. Um, no, I'm glad it's gone. I think there's going to be some opportunity, especially in stuff they were holding that they can't get rid of because they locked up the float.
Yeah.
so so when that leaks out, I think we'll be good. But for anyone that's new to what we do, because I do put this out on the YouTube for everybody, there's a lot of people out there that probably made 100, 200, 300K and said, you know what, this ain't cool. I'm gonna get out. But they got rooms right now. A lot of those guys
Yeah.
got rooms
No,
right now.
absolutely.
So be mindful of that out there. You got anything else you want to I didn't
No,
write
no.
anything. I didn't write anything down before we started. So if there's a topic you wanted to get on,
No, I'm good to jump into it.
okay, perfect.